It's time for Everything Noob, your source for all things gaming.
It's episode 88 of the Everything Noob podcast. Vortak joining you this evening with Jimmy Games and Mr. Dreadlow.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Going good.
Pretty good.
Nice. So, we keep forgetting to mention this at the top of the show. For those of you who can listen to the podcast in other parts of the internet, we are now syndicated on Wildfire Radio, which is an internet radio station. And I always mention it at the end of the show, but in case you guys don't quite make it there, now you know. We're on Wildfire Radio. Just visit wildfireradio.com, and you can check us out every Wednesday. This episode, for example, will be rebroadcast this Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So just wanted to throw that out there. We have a whole bunch of shows on that website. It's not our website, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of shows on the website, and they were really cool to bring us on board. And
it's a mixed bag too, so it's something for everyone.
The Shaft Podcast is on there as well, so
yeah, they're on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern.
We're in good company.
Yeah, it's close. Minecraft is probably what got me into podcasting, in a way.
There you go.
PC gaming, so on and so forth. So,
and all that recording software and all that stuff, and it's like, what else can I do with all this?
I have all this stuff. I need to use it for other things. And here we are.
Speaking of Minecraft.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Minecraft. Whole bunch of stuff to talk about tonight, though. We are going to talk about the result of that UCube meetup last week. A lot of our show, our topics were populated by this Minorama Minecraft fiasco, where this big convention that was supposed to be happening last weekend, it happened this weekend. It happened right?
The
Saturday?
12th, yes.
Yeah.
So this big convention was supposed to happen, and 5 days before, they completely just dropped it. They said, well, we didn't get the funding we needed, and we can't do it. Sorry. And we'll reschedule it. So they're trying...
No refunds as of yet, either.
Yeah, they're trying to soften the blow by saying we will cooperate with authorities, and we're not scammers. It was, unforeseen circumstances, yada, yada, yada. Regardless of what you think of them, the YouTube community got together and said, that is BS. We're going to do something awesome. And yes.
Well, I got the reason it was canceled is supposedly because they fell short of their financing goals, and so they canceled it because they were $175,000 short.
That was the figure. Okay.
And that's why they have postponed it.
Okay.
But Bebop Vox said in a video that they told Forbes that they've already reached and sold 7,500 tickets, and at $150 each, it comes up to close to $1.5 million or something like that. Some odd big figure like that, and supposedly they were looking to come up with $1 million. And this was months prior, so I don't know.
They knew they were short 3 weeks in advance, and they didn't tell anybody until right beforehand. So and they didn't even try to fundraise that last portion, which I doubt they really needed, but who knows?
Right. I mean,
is it expensive to hold a convention, though?
Well, look, 5 days before the event was supposed to take place, these guys from UCube put together an event. So they could have put something together.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they didn't even try to take the money they had and pull something together. They claim that the $600-something thousand they had wasn't enough to do anything. And that's why this all seems very scammy, but you can't, innocent until proven guilty in this country, so we can't be sitting there giving false accusations. But
right.
That's kind of that's the drama of it. They said they fell short of their finances, and the guy who was tweeting at the time was like, I blame myself, and I'm just as angry as you guys are. Oh, that means a lot. Thanks. So the YouTube community got together, thanks to Sky Does Minecraft, a whole bunch of other people. We're gonna link their website, and everyone is credited on there. And
it was MC Pro Hosting was also one of them that actually funded this as well, and Mineplex.
Yeah, they pulled their personal finances, and they got sponsors as well to hold this thing for free, only open to the people who got rejected, because of Minorama.
Right.
Got screwed over, I should say. And it went great. According to the internet, it went fantastic. The Minecraft community gave it tons and tons of praise. I guess
parents were tweeting saying, "I'm so glad that I brought my kids to this YouTube meetup. It was a great. We're just all kinds of praise.
Yeah.
Tons of praise.
They filled a venue. They only managed to lock down a venue that could support 1,500 people when I guess Minorama claimed to sell like over 3,000 tickets. So unfortunately, they filled it pretty quick. So I bet a lot of people got turned away, but for the most part, they did pretty good. Still, it's something, you know.
Yeah.
They scheduled panels just like a convention, and obviously meetups, signing, you know, autographs, things like that. And
they probably just like took the panels they were gonna do, and if they had the tech to run it, they were like, yeah, we'll just do it.
yeah.
And Lindy Link was there, and she sang a plethora of songs, not just one song. She sang a few. Yeah. A couple of them were covers, and I think there was like 3 or 4 songs that were parodies, Minecraft parodies.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
that's cool.
It's so cool. It's so cool to see what like just a group of people can pull together in 5 days. They had like logos. They had the website up in no time. They had logos and artwork all done instantly. Like everything just kind of came together.
Contracts signed, insurance made, everything done.
Security.
It just makes me happy. It gives me faith in humanity that some people are actually nice and good and not out to steal every cent.
I know.
Yeah.
So.
And Sky Does Minecraft could not make it, I guess, because he was sick. He was ill. So he couldn't make it. I'm sure he really wanted to be there. So
he's the one that put it all together.
He's the one that did it all, or
Man.
you know, really put the funding in there for it. And
I mean, at least he did something for everybody.
And he was I think he was gonna be at the original Minorama too. So
yeah. So that
they just
still,
yeah.
He's probably in the area, very, very sick.
It's pretty badass.
Oh, now there's going to be a possible Kickstarter for next year's event. They're planning on next year, and they're discussing on possibly doing a Kickstarter for it.
So next year, like
so that would also
will actually
cut
be a
down,
real convention.
Yeah, and then it'll cut down the cost for tickets and stuff if they do some kind of Kickstarter beforehand. This is kind of a good idea, actually. You know, because a lot of people can't afford to go to these places because they're so expensive. This will probably help, you know, with that.
It's cool that they put it in a city that's so, you know, populated, probably by a lot of the, you know, it's overpopulated as it is, so probably a lot of their fans are already from New York. Not to mention, it's a pretty accessible city. There's always flights going to New York. You can get a plethora of deals on flights going in and out of New York City. So that's
they might
as long
even
as you put it in like an accessible place like that. And get, you know, imagine what they could have done with 10 days or, you know, a year.
Oh, I know.
God.
Could you imagine?
They should be doing that Kickstarter now.
I think Minorama was a year and a half or so planning, maybe longer.
Long time.
You know.
Most conventions are at least a year planning. And by a couple months beforehand, they have everything finalized, like the schedule and stuff. There's very few things that aren't planned and paid for by that time.
What sucks is that when this other convention turned out to be a scam recently, the meeting of the minds or whatever it was, we talked about that. And, you know, same people, Bebop Vox and others, put out videos and talked about how you can avoid scamming conventions. And this one comes along and everything kind of checks out to, you know, to the untrained eye. And these people went back to doing their research and found, well, the people running this have a tendency to be scammers. You know, these guys get away with stuff like this all the time, and we're letting the same exact people, you know, who've done this before run this convention, and no one's saying anything about it. So it's just a shame that, you know, and I wouldn't have known to look for that either. I would have bought tickets just like the rest of them. Oh, cool. Everyone, all of the people who I know and respect are going to this event. It can't be bad. I'm going to go.
Right. You know, and that was something that I was looking at too. I'm going, well, they're going to be there. Well, it should be a legitimate. Looks more legitimate than before. So,
but they were smart. The people who were running the event got them on board before tickets went on sale. You know.
Right.
But that was their mistake.
If UCube is running and it runs next year, this is obviously a legit event. I'm hoping that Mojang will possibly do something like, you know, kind of handpick the ones that they know are legitimate and not support them in any financial way, but actually like make it aware that, hey, you know, we know this to be a legitimate, legitimate meetup. So
yeah,
people will like see that it's legitimate.
They'll probably, because of all this, they'll probably make sure that it's a really cheap event to go to. And, because each one of these people who put their name in the hat for this event, I know Wolf and Luckland both went.
Yeah, they were there.
Minecraft basically organized it with the help of his friends and just a whole bunch of other YouTubers with their own followings and streamers with their own followings. You take each one of these people who in their own right could have their own convention and combine them. You can get a venue with 10,000 people and probably fill that damn thing up.
Easy.
Yeah. And every year
this was, you know what's so funny is this was something that when I was at Minecon, the very first Minecon, it was something that a lot of the YouTubers were talking about. They say, we should do some kind of meetup or something, create some kind of where all the YouTubers could get together and hang out. But it was more of a thing for just the YouTubers to hang out. It wasn't really necessary for fans or people to come and see you, but it was a meetup for us that does YouTube. But as you can see, it worked out quite well, and there's a lot of people that went, to see their favorite YouTubers. So it's something that the YouTubers need to think about when they come up with something like this. Is that if fans need to be included.
I love this community. I love knowing who I know in the community, and it's just so cool. It's so cool to see what these people can do. So yeah, that is the end of that story. It ended up having a happy ending. A lot of people after our show, we were doing some more research, and a lot of people were worried that they weren't going to be able to do it, especially because they were having trouble locking down a venue. And once you get the venue, you have so much to deal with. I mean, security, insurance, and handicap access, and the list goes on. Like all the things you need to deal with.
But then they tweeted
I think
back
you have to get
and
a permit too.
Yeah, and they tweeted back saying we know people are talking about insurance and things like that. We've got all of that. We're covered. They basically said, so don't worry about it. Just come and enjoy.
That's awesome.
And it came out great.
Yeah, you can't just. Unfortunately, I mean, it should work this way in our country, but it really, for safety issues, it doesn't. You can't just go to a park and tell 1 million people to come visit you.
Show up. Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. So I mean.
That's why we have permits. That's why people have to get permits and stuff like that for events.
I'm just glad that people were able to provide those in a timely manner, because usually that stuff's a process.
Yeah.
So
it usually takes, approval process takes a couple days to a week's,
But
so
we'll link their website, and we'll also link the Bebop Vox video that explained about this convention, all the really hard research behind the Minorama convention, so you can kind of make your own opinion. That's what I like about him. He just does research and then presents it to you. He doesn't sit there and tell you what to believe, which,
right.
When opinions get in the way, it's really easy to sway people in the wrong direction. He just kind of shows you the facts and gives you the links to where to find those facts. Make your own judgment, on that. And it's a good thing to watch if you're someone who's worried about other fan conventions of a video game, whether it be Minecraft or whatever.
When you watch his videos, he looks like a guy that doesn't seem like he would know stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just doesn't seem like it. But he's smart. He's a smart guy. So he knows what he's talking about.
Most of his videos are pretty simple. He does the Minecraft Monday show and Let's Plays and stuff, just like a lot of people. And it's cool, though. It's good to have people like that who are popular.
Yeah.
Keep the community informed. So there you have it. Awesome, awesome event. But there's a lot of other stuff going on. What have you guys been up to?
More Final Fantasy 14. I mean, patch 2.3 dropped last week. There's a big patch once every 2 or 3 months, I think, from what I understand. I've been playing catch up on all the information and stuff. Now, I've been involved in 14 since 1.0, but only fringely, and I was in the second beta again, because it was in the first beta before the original release. So I've been keeping up with it, and now the game's actually fun and playable. And so black mages in the game got a buff for damage on single target spells, and so I've been going back and re-leveling Paladin with my friend who doesn't have a max level yet. So when he logs on, we all just switch jobs real quick and run and just do whatever he's doing.
Okay.
And so we're okay, let's go run a dungeon. So we queue up, go to a dungeon, and it's 4 people in a dungeon, and we're 4 friends, so we go straight in, obviously. And so my party consists of me tanking and intern on heals, and then two of my friends on both on Black Mage with this new damage boost.
Why
And,
did Brendan have to wear heels?
No, no, no,
He was a
no.
vet?
Yeah. He was stomping all over in his beautiful red pumps. Um, but so there was an intense training regimen on how to tank when your DPS steals hate.
What does that mean?
When you know their threat raises above yours, and so like the mob turns and runs way away from you, and you're like, oh no, some clothy is about to die.
So they're more threatening than you, who's supposed to be the scariest. And
Yeah,
they
I'm
run
supposed to be
off.
the scariest, the front face of the party, and the
Whose
mob
idea was that? You're not
ran
scary.
straight away from me.
You're not scary. Whose idea was that?
I know, they're like, this is cute.
That's
Bye.
why I could, in a game like that, I could never be a tank, because if somehow the group gets wiped, the tank's always blamed. You know what I mean? It's like it's always that way, because the tank has to keep them on them while DPS does all the damage, and it's
usually,
always like that.
though,
I like being DPS because I just sit there, relax, and just do damage.
if you're in a group of players who understand the mechanics of the game and stuff, you usually don't see the tank get blamed so much, because everybody will know exactly what went wrong. It's usually when people don't understand the mechanics of the fight, or they don't understand how to control their hate. You don't blow your DPS load at the very beginning of the fight. You wait till hate has been generated and it's set, and then you can blow all your big abilities.
Right, there are some abilities that
Ladies?
say a DPS character would
I
have
know.
that could possibly take threat away from the tank.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the whole point of the DPS, is to maximize your damage output without going over the threat range of your tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you will probably die.
This is why I don't play these games anymore. It's too much math.
But there is no math. You don't do any math when you're.
It's the most math.
No,
way you just
there's
put it.
There's even like a convenient little bar next to your party's name, so you like there's a graph chart to see who's winning.
Oh, graphs and
Everybody can
charts?
see this,
Yeah.
so you know if you're about to steal hate, which means you just slow down a little, or maybe just stop for a second.
I finished school already. No, honestly, I just don't feel like paying a monthly fee for a game right now. I'm bouncing around all over the place right now. But that's cool, though.
I feel you on that one, but I'm having so much fun for me that it's worth it, because I wouldn't be spending as much money on entertainment elsewhere because I'm paying this monthly fee, because I'm sinking so much time into it.
But you have to purchase the game still, though, right? But
Well, yeah.
it comes
I
with a
did
month.
not have to actually purchase the game. A friend of mine who is crazy about collector's edition stuff
Okay.
had purchased the second copy on the second release to get all the little doodads. And he's like, I got an extra code, so here's the code. And I obviously got a free 30 days with that. And then,
But yeah, so like if you purchase the game, you get an extra 30 days for free. But you still have to purchase the game, though. That's
yeah.
the only thing I don't.
But
Of course, you did that with World of Warcraft too.
you're not going out and buying games constantly, is what you're saying. So it's kind of worth it, because you can pay $15 a month for
not-
an MMO, or you can.
I'm not wanting to go out to the movies. I'm not wanting to go bowling. I'm
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm not
You're gonna
renting
spend
movies
that
or
anyway.
anything like that.
It's rough right now, though. I mean, there's a lot of new games coming out. Are you thinking of getting the new Pokemon game for 3DS?
Yes, I do want that.
Yeah, they're doing something weird with it. Actually, the reason I don't want to get it is because I don't like prequels, and especially ones that got like remade. I feel like they should have done this remake before they released X and Y. It's because it would just make more sense. But now I've played X and Y. I don't want to go back and play one that's based in like an earlier time frame. You know what I mean?
But that's their flow with the Pokemon games. They usually release one or two new ones, and then they remake an old one. One or two new ones, remake an old one.
Yeah, true. I mean, obviously it's not affecting some people's decision, but that comes out on like the 21st of November, so you still got a little bit of time. But they just released this little tidbit about the game that's kind of interesting. Reminded me of Animal Crossing a little bit. Like, they have secret bases you can build now.
I thought you could do that originally in Ruby and Sapphire. Or was that Diamond and Pearl?
I don't know.
Because there was like a multiplayer mode. It was like a multiplayer mode, and you would race to like dig gems or whatever, and in an underground like tunnel place, and then you could like dig a hole and then make a base in there and stuff all your like little house doodads and furniture and whatever.
I see. This wasn't in X and Y, so I assume that all the cool things they've done like that would have been in X and Y.
Well, nobody really played that mini game because it was really inconvenient to actually do it with your friends. And you had to constantly be linking up to really get benefit from it. So most people could not do much with their base because they constantly weren't linking up with friends. I think it had to be actually in your vicinity, so it couldn't be through the internet.
Okay.
So it was kind of like very inconvenient.
Well, I thought it was kind of cool.
Chat is saying they think it was Diamond and Pearl.
Okay.
I couldn't remember if it was Ruby and Sapphire or Diamond and Pearl.
It's kind of cool, though, some of the stuff they're doing. It's going to use Spot Pass on the 3DS, and you can set up, like, mazes and traps and things like that. You could put all your stuff in there, like a little house.
Oh, amazing. And traps.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to just spot pass everyone with the trolliest maze I can imagine.
Kind of vague details about it. Like, I guess there's flags that you can get in these bases, and you collect as many as you can, and you get a high rank. It's probably just like a high score kind of game where you collect as many, you can do like a QR code to get other mazes and stuff like that, and you can collect as many as possible.
GameStop and just like scan the QR code for this week's maze?
I actually was playing, again, Animal Crossing, and the QR codes, I always thought, I'm never going to use the QR reader on this game. And then I realized, oh, wait, internet. You can just go on the internet and whatever QR codes you want to get, you just take a picture of your monitor. And so I was getting a whole bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think of that. I felt so dumb.
I don't even know where the QR reader is in that game. Do you have to like build a building for it?
You get, this is going to be like really niche right now. If you play Animal Crossing on 3DS, you'll know what I mean. So you have this store that sells clothing. And there's a little animal in the corner that's always sewing, and she's really, you talk to her, she's like, I'm busy, and she's a dick.
Oh, you have to talk to her every day.
You keep doing it, yeah. You keep talking to her, and eventually she's like, warms up to you. Like every day you go in there and talk to her a few times, and then this big sewing machine pops up, and you go to that, and that accesses the QR camera. And then you could take pictures and get more designs that way. But the problem is, those designs you cannot edit. And because you didn't make them, you can't display them in the store, which is very frustrating. Because I was hoping to display some cool stuff in the store, and you can't do it. You have to design something to display it, which doesn't make any sense. Kind of an oversight.
Which means you just pull up the design you want and go pixel by pixel and match it.
But you can't pull up you have to you have to have a good eye, because you can't pull up like a little graph. In the game, it puts a graph over the art, and then you get to see pixel by pixel what it looks like. But the only way to view it is in the tiny, tiny, tiny little window, like a thumbnail.
I blow it up in Photoshop.
Okay, Miss Photoshop.
I've done it.
Pants.
Like, that's why I have a cool town flag, because I found a design I wanted and blew it up, but pixel by pixel, like graph chart with Photoshop. Like, boop, 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 boop.
I've been trying to get you to visit my town because I did something really cool that you're going to like. Again, sorry about how niche this is.
I have to charge it. It's been
But you have it next to you. Great. Yeah. So, anyway, you made me this awesome Twitter. Like, I use it for Twitter. I've put the image around. You drew myself and Dreadlow and you as our Minecraft avatars in this really cool picture.
I remember that.
So I use it as my Twitter avatar. Well, what I did is I got this app on my phone that takes any image you put into it and develops a QR code for Animal Crossing. So I took that image, made a QR code, and now my town flag is your drawing. Yeah.
Nice.
There's a lot of detail, too. It's just about how many pixels it has. So you got to check it out sometime. It looks really just...
I'm going to have to go and see that then.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. So anyway, if you're interested in more Animal Crossing ramblings, I've been writing blogs on everythingnoob.com. I call my Animal Crossing log. I did a really awesome one with the help of Jemmy's sister, actually. She's been playing and help me out with some of the images. You can make the animals have really ridiculous catchphrases. And so we took a whole bunch of screenshots of them and put them on the website, and some of them are really... It's the circumstances you use them in. Like, one of them is golden showers. And
what?
Yeah. So the greeting is golden showers. How are you today? And then what was really awesome is it started to rain.
Avoid that guy.
It started to rain, and they're
See
like,
him? I walk the other way.
they go, golden showers. I love it when it rains. I love splashing in the puddles. I lost my mind. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
So I might have to do
Yeah,
another
I
one.
saw those. Those were really good. Those were some good screenshots there.
We're both starting to get more creative now with what the ones we give them, and I might have to do a follow up because. Oh man, some of the others.
Can you change them?
Yeah, they'll just come up to you and be like, "Oh, I feel like I say the same thing all the time. Can you help me out?"
And give them a new catchphrase.
And you give them a new catchphrase.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
hilarious.
I really find it kind of annoying because they seem to want to change like constantly. It's like, please, I'm just trying to fish. Go away.
Go away.
Because like they'll walk around randomly and you're doing your thing fishing because you're like, oh, here's the rare fish, and then like little thing will pop above their head because they spotted you. You're like, oh, I gotta talk to her. And
Oh my god.
they will make a beeline straight for you and pull you away from whatever you're doing.
Last night, this is going to get a little bit dirty, but I'm going to say it anyway. Last night, we were playing, and one of the animals came up to your sister there and said, "Oh, I need a new catchphrase." And so we were thinking for a bit, and she typed, "Oops, I'm erect."
Oh.
And now that's the catchphrase. So you're talking to them, and they'll say something, and they're like, at the end of it, they'll go, "Oops, I'm erect." And like, what was
Awkward boners.
the best was when like you give them the catchphrase initially, and they try it out. They're like, "Oops, I'm erect. Oops, I'm erect. Am I doing it right?" Oh man, it's awesome. I love that game.
That's a great game. I swear to God. There's no game that can compare to the mechanics of that game. I mean, like you said, you could be fishing, and one of the animals will notice that you're fishing, and you caught a rare fish, and they'll know, and they'll come right for you.
Yeah, and they'll be like, "Can I buy it
What
from
game
you?"
is like that? Yeah, what game is like that, really?
That's actually very annoying because sometimes you got to bring them to the museum because you got to
But
get
it
one
does
of every
it.
fish.
You know what I
And-
mean? It's got the AI is got that in it. You know, that's what's so amazing about that game. It's got an amazing AI.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a cool little game. So it's fun. You have to play it like every day though, which is kind of getting on my nerves because today I haven't had any time to turn it on.
Yeah, it's like virtual
And-
pets. If you don't turn it on,
It's the
something
same
happens.
with MMO. You kind of have to play every day.
Yeah. But luckily, you kind of boil it down to so many tasks you want to do, and so you go in, you do your tasks, you get out. But it's pretty cool. I'm still having fun with it. So more Animal Crossing logs and everythingnoob.com, as well as tons of other blog posts. Dreadlo just wrote one about Android versus iPhone. If you like fighting with people on that front,
Oh, here comes the troll rage.
everyone with a phone has an opinion about that. So
Just find one you
It's
like and
awful.
stick with it.
that's what I
See,
did.
I got this new watch here. It's
It's something that
it's
the
a
audio
Bluetooth,
listeners can
Bluetooth
benefit from.
smartwatch is what it is.
It's a what?
Oh, you
It's-
got one of those?
Yeah, it's a Bluetooth smartwatch, and it's supposed to connect to your phone by Bluetooth, and you're supposed to be able to make phone calls. It's got a speaker on it and everything. You can make phone calls from it, get text messages, emails, any kind of notifications from your phone to this smartwatch. But guess what?
What?
iPhone can't work with it. It can do the phone calls and stuff, but it can't do the
Oh.
text messages because iPhone's got that locked, and it won't allow you to access that capability.
Ouch. That sucks.
So it's frustrating as can be. So that's why I wrote that.
Well, there you go. Be sure to go check that out. Other games coming out though, we got the Borderlands pre-sequel coming out.
Now, when does that drop?
This is the one thing I didn't get a date for. Really, I wrote all the dates down for everything. It drops soon.
Wow. Ugh,
I'm pulling it
Hold
up.
on.
But meanwhile,
It drops,
Yeah.
it drops soon.
pull that up. I am on you. I need to
Pull it
check
up.
your fact checking.
I'm sorry.
Check of the fact check.
But some cool things came out about it. They're talking about they want to reward the reason it's not going to be on the
We talked
new
about
consoles. We did talk about that.
that. We did talk about that.
Yes,
talked about
we
that
did
last
talk
week.
about that.
I thought there was something else that
Oh.
you had to say.
No, I asked
I
you.
When we were
It's
going
included.
over like initial topics. I thought something else came out, like a new video or something.
Well, see, now we just sound dumb again.
Well, the
Well, Well, did you get the date at least for the
that I'll
release?
pull up.
Gosh.
But we did talk about how they're not going to be on the new consoles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did talk about that. Are you
Okay.
looking forward to it, Judlow? I am.
Yeah.
Although I haven't quite finished Borderlands 2 yet. I've gotten close, but I haven't like
either.
finished it.
I've got both Borderlands 2, and I haven't finished Borderlands 2, but I never played Borderlands.
You've never played the original?
No, I just straight Borderlands 2.
I played very little of it. I
don't know why, but I just never played it. I played
we
the first one.
Do like a noob night where we go through Borderlands?
Maybe. I still want to
yeah.
go through Borderlands 2. I'm like halfway through it. It's frustrating to not have beaten it. It's October 14th, by the way, this pre-sequel coming out. So,
Oh, so that's
October
still a while away.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because for me, it's not really going to unless I go through Borderlands and kind of understand the storyline a little better. Because when you go into Borderlands 2, you just start off and you're just going with the story that's available to you. But I'm sure there's a backstory to all this, and so this prequel, sequel, or whatever that they're going to have is probably going to fill in a lot of holes. That might be lacking in the first two games.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Yeah, I just prequels kind of frustrate me a little bit, especially when they're trying to be, oh well, we can't put it on the new console because it's a prequel. Just do it. Just sell your game. Why you gotta be like that? But
Yeah.
it's probably gonna fill a lot of those holes. And of course, Borderlands is just an awesome game, so it'll be worth the playthrough.
Yeah, well, it's a great game. It's endless.
No, it really is. And I love the Easter eggs. They have a really cool sense of humor about the whole game. It's cool.
Yeah, I did the Minecraft one. Minecraft Easter egg that I
Oh
put
yeah,
out.
I remember when it first released, you like ran and did that content.
I
guess
made
you've never
I made a
touched it
video. I
since?
made a video of it. It was that it was awesome. I had a little what was it called? It was called It's Got Minecraft in It was the name of the series that I made.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I
I
just
remember
found
that.
all these different games with Minecraft in them
Yeah.
where they have like an Easter egg or something
Did
in
you
there.
ever do the Stanley Parable? It's got Minecraft in it.
Does it really?
Yeah,
Yes,
it does.
it
I never did. No, I
I
didn't.
never found that.
Really?
it's-
It was hilarious.
Yeah, it is freaking.
Damn.
Because the
hilarious.
narrator is like getting angry with you, and so he like drops you into Minecraft, and he's like,
Oh,
"Here,
I
you want to
did.
do whatever you want.
I remember
Here,
that.
You play this game.
Here,
we'll
we'll
build a
put you in
house."
a game that's well known.
Yep.
Something
Okay,
like that.
I do remember that. Yeah. And then it starts building for you.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert if you're still playing. Stanley Parable.
Whatever.
Fun.
That game's like been out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But cool. All right. So we covered Borderlands then. Thanks, guys. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
We'll talk about another game we didn't talk about last week.
Okay, we have Kitten on cam.
It's Kitten Cam.
You jealous audio listeners need to check out our YouTube channel. Everything. eNoobcast. That's what I have us on. Just go to everythingnoob.com and click the YouTube link, and you can see little kitten on the camera.
Lysis. Just
Little
about to take a
Mojo.
nap. No, she's
A
not.
little Mojo.
It's Isis.
So the Destiny beta is about to drop.
Yeah.
Are you in it?
I'm not.
Oh.
I wish I could.
I'm not gonna have
I
any
seriously-
time. I'm not gonna have any time to play that. Unfortunately,
Well, then it's a good thing
July-
you're not in the beta.
July
Not waste-
17th. Yeah. So just a few
Yeah.
more days. The way the beta is gonna work is it's gonna take place at like the beginning of the game, and they're gonna do a few story missions. I guess a strike mission, PvP Crucible maps are in there, and it's gonna end on the 21st, and then return. So that beta is for PS3 and PS4, and then when it returns, it's going to be on PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and they're still not talking if they're going to do PC ever. Originally they said they were going to, and then they just decided not to, which was incredibly annoying. And then the whole thing ends on July 27th, so it's going to be pretty cool. The game's starting to look awesome. I definitely see Halo within it, meaning like it was made by Bungie, and I can see that kind of. It has that feel to it. If you're someone who likes Halo but
Right.
doesn't like the direction it's gone in since it was taken over, I personally did like that direction, but Some people complained and they miss Bungie. So this is kind of your answer to that. And yeah, it's gonna be pretty awesome.
It looks awesome. Supposedly, it's they've got some dynamic events in there as well, just kind of like some of your newer MMOs are doing, where they put all of a sudden there's just a dynamic event that might happen.
Yeah.
While you're playing.
They've mixed like everything in this game. It's cool. Like the Crucible thing is actually just like regular old PvP, kind of like Halo. And then there's obviously like land to explore, like an MMO. And they have Strike, which is co-op missions. So you can just get in with your friends and do specific co-op missions. Like they're made for more than one person to play.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of Firefall, which is actually more MMO based than it is PvP based. But there are those aspects as well in the game. But Destiny looks like it's a really good game.
It kind of reminds me of, because we were just talking about Borderlands, and it kind of reminds me of that sense where you get with your friends and you play through the story, but it has more layers to it. Like there's a tower mode that they're going to have where it's kind of like you play third person, and it's like a big social place. You go in there and you meet up with people, and then you go back into the game. So it becomes
cool.
Like an
kind
MMO
of like a
for
lobby.
a sec. Yeah.
Like a little lobby.
Big lobby.
Hangout lobby.
And of course, they're going to have a regular old story campaign, and you use the same character for all of these things. You don't have to make a new character.
How is that going to work?
I don't know.
Because it's just like, I imagine all that voice chat going off, and I'm like, no.
Oh, voice chat can't be that hard to figure out. You probably would have to like do a voice
proximity.
Proximity would work. We'll see. It just depends. I mean, in real life, that's how it would work, right? There's a big place full of people, and as you get closer to people, you can start hearing what they have to say. So maybe like in the distance, you won't hear anything, and as you walk up to them, and maybe you have to target them to hear what they're saying. I mean, you could do it a number of different ways.
How many awkward conversations do you walk by?
Yeah. That would be fun.
I think it's just going to be...
The reason why I'm laughing and giggling so much is because these are the experiences that you find in Second Life. You know, you go into an area and there's just people talking in voice, and you're listening to their conversations. And yeah, Jim's sister would know what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's because she... Yeah, I never... You know, I saw Second Life. The only reason I ever knew about that was because of The Office. They did an episode about it, like where Dwight was obsessed with his Second Life character. And yeah, I just never got into it. It was too real in the sense that it didn't feel like a game. It literally felt like a Second Life. It didn't.
That's the point. But it's a whole new Second Life.
I play games.
People get married in that game. I swear to God, they get married in that game.
Like there is so much going on with that UI as well. It's like crazy.
Yeah, it was not easy to navigate either.
Well, that's because there are third-party viewers that are much better than the actual Second Life viewer, and that's the mistake people make, because they download the actual Second Life viewer and instead of getting a third-party one, and it's a lot easier to use a third-party one. It makes it much more enjoyable. I can't use the Second Life viewer. It's terrible. Anyway.
That cat fell asleep in your hand, and it's just off the camera now. You try to like move in. There you go.
Yeah, she's very snuggly.
She keeps pulling your finger in because you keep moving your finger out and she'll pull it in.
Yeah. No, she's needing because she's very, very, very happy right now.
That's
Just
awesome.
move my camera.
Yeah.
She's like, "What are you doing?" I was sleeping.
Oh, but man, oh man, I'm really excited. Some potential news that just dropped. Even like the idea, little cat. Even the idea of this news gets me really excited. But Sony was talking about Crash Bandicoot and Spyro possibly coming back, both games.
Oh wow,
that's exciting.
That's Those
were good games.
My first ever experience with PlayStation, and I think a lot of people's, was Crash Bandicoot.
It was just yeah. That was one of those games that you get frustrated with, but you like, you know.
It's just it was so cool. Like, it's a platformer. And if you've never played Crash Bandicoot, try to find don't play the latest ones. They weren't that good. If you have a PS3, it plays PS1 games, believe it or not. I'm not sure if the PS4 does. But the PS3 will play PS1 games, and I own the original Crash Bandicoot and 2 and 3 and probably a few other things.
Oh
But,
wow!
That game is nearly 20 years old, like the original one.
Yep, it originally came out in 1996.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's awesome. It's crazy awesome. And it still holds, too, even though it's so old. It holds up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you have a lot of people have PS3s too. So, oh man, but yeah, it's just it's a platformer. You play as this Bandicoot, and it's funny when you die, like just the crazy stuff that can happen to you. And I don't know. I just remember as a kid, like cracking up. I loved it so much, and each one just got better and better and better until like Activision took them over. Activision took over in like 2008, and I guess there was also a rumor that Sony bought it back from Activision, but Activision's like no.
See, that is the thing. The original games are so good that I didn't even realize that they continued to make games up to 2008. I just didn't, because I only know of the originals. I don't know of anything newer than that. You know, I thought that it just went away.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No,
That's cool though.
I kept seeing him pop back up, and like the newer games are not very good. I'm like, just stop. I know it's a cash cow, but just stop.
You know what?
Maybe the reboot will reboot like the original
Yeah.
enjoyment of it.
Speaking of companies that reboot things, you know what I want to see come back? I
What?
want to see a new Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
They made one for the original DS, and I own it. The very original Nintendo DS. They remade the N64 one and added a couple things to it. But that's just not good enough. I want to see like a legit Diddy Kong Racing, because Diddy Kong Racing did something that Mario Kart didn't, and that was create like a game within a game. So you obviously you're racing. You go into different worlds. Just like it was like a mix of Super Mario meets Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Super Mario World 64 meets Mario Kart, because you would go into these like doors, you'd unlock new tracks, and you'd have this island, this free roam island. That's how you'd access the different levels. And there was different vehicles. There was boats, like hovercraft boats, planes, and carts. And it was a lot of fun. And I wish they never got rid of it. Like, you know, they obviously didn't get rid of it, but I wish they would have kept going with it, because I'm having a blast with Mario Kart 8. But Diddy Kong Racing still, I'll never forget that game. I played it so much as a kid.
Oh, somebody was talking about Wario in chat. And did you ever play WarioWare?
No, I didn't.
It was just like a bunch of micro mini games in quick succession. Oh, I loved it.
Oh,
I want another one of those.
okay.
I never heard
No,
of
I
that.
never.
It's just like really short objective things, like pick the nose, make the puzzle, or some. I can't even remember them, but it was just like very addictive, and just see how long you could go.
Pick the nose.
Yeah, you would just like take the finger and just put it up in the nose.
Yeah. Oh, someone in chat just reminded me. I was going to say that too. Crash Team Racing. That's kind of what reminded me of Diddy Kong Racing. There was a Crash Bandicoot game, very much like Diddy Kong Racing, where you would drive around and you would, you know, unlock tracks in this free roam kind of place. Same concept. But I didn't like it as much as Diddy Kong Racing. I don't know what it was about it. Maybe it's because I don't know. At the time, I was a little more addicted to Nintendo. Maybe I'd appreciate it more now. But yeah, it was. That cat is so distracting. It just sleeps in
What?
your hands. It just,
All she's doing is sleeping. How is that distracting?
gee, I don't know. Hey, chat.
I mean, it's adorable.
Those of you watching right now, are you hearing anything we're saying, or are you just looking at the cat?
It pulls in views.
Anyway, speaking of like racing games, in Mario Kart 8, I have that on the Wii U, and I've been playing. I've been playing it a lot more because someone on Twitter I got in contact with. I'm gonna link their Twitter handle. It's like @geeks_gamers. They're awesome. They hold this Mario Kart tournament every Saturday, and I was like, Mario Kart tournament, and it's built into the game. You go online, and people can just do a tournament. Like I can make an everything noob tournament, for example, and say every Saturday night or every Monday night or whatever, it goes on at like 4:00, and then the tournament automatically starts and then runs for however long you set it. And so all these people jump in the lobby and they race. You can just jump in and out. It's very casual. I got like 10th out of 14 people that joined the tournament.
Wow.
So
nice.
I wasn't very good.
I mean, you tried.
It needs work. Like, Nintendo did this really weird thing. And the person who runs these said it like this because more than 12 people will join. You can only have 12 people in a standard Mario Kart race. But to make the tournament open to more than that, you need to rotate everyone. But it was really frustrating because you would get into a lobby and a bunch of people were in the lobby with you. Okay, cool. The next race is about to start. You'd all vote on a track, you'd race, and then you'd get back after the race and you'd be with one out of all those people. And then you're like, where is everybody? And then another race would start and it would be you and that person and the rest of the NPCs. And meanwhile, all those other racers are racing against other people. So the problem with the tournament is that you can't like accurately determine who's the best out of all these people, because at any given time you could be racing against the best people in the tournament bracket or the worst, and then just keep rotating around until an hour is up.
So it's not like a bracket where like everybody joins in and then you race your way down to like 2.
Which would be really cool.
Or it's several races based on points.
Yeah. That would be awesome. I would be really excited about that. And you can still do it to where it doesn't rotate, but then only 12 people can join. So
that's probably more like a real tournament then.
Yeah, I get why it is like it is, but it's kind of sad because they didn't. The rotations need improvement desperately. But it's cool. If you have a Wii U and you want to join that, be on the lookout for our show notes. I'll be sure to link them in chat. It's every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. That tournament starts, and you can find the Geeks and Gamers tournament on the tournament's list. And yeah, they'll tweet the code, so you can just type in the code too. So I'm following on Twitter.
Oh boy!
And
type in the code to find the tournament.
Yeah,
that would be a pain. I'd just rather look for it on the list.
So every Saturday, yeah, you can join that.
Just look for Luigi's Look of Death. No, I was kidding. You remember Mario Kart's Luigi Look of Death?
Like, there's a video of a guy who went to a convention dressed as Luigi, and he had a little like go-kart, and he was just riding around and throwing like a stuffed turtle shell at people, and then he just like there was a cameraman, he'd ride by the cameraman just like and he had a mask on with the Luigi death stare, and then he just put his hands up like, what? It's the best.
That's awesome.
I'll have to find that and like link that for you guys.
That's funny.
Oh, so
yeah, that was famous.
Mario Kart, they did a lot of good stuff with it, but that tournament thing is just depressing. And you beat all the tracks really fast, but have you played recent Mario Kart games? Either of you?
No.
The last one I played was for Wii.
Okay, so the Wii one did it too, where I think it started with the original DS version, but I could be wrong about that. They started recycling old tracks and putting them in the newer games.
Yeah, they've been doing that since the beginning.
Well, up until recently, the tracks
did they literally like turn for turn recreate it?
Yeah, they take the track and they even label it like this was in the N64 version, this was in the Super Nintendo version, and they obviously make it match the whole game. Like, you're not going to race in that top down view the Super Nintendo had, but
yeah, you
race on a very Super Nintendo looking track. It's kind of cool at first, but you kind of think, I wish they would have just taken these slots to make new tracks.
Yeah.
The one thing...
It would have been nice as a DLC pack, like the retro pack of races.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, Mario Kart 8 added, they recycled a bunch of tracks, but they took all of them and brought them up to date with really, really awesome graphics. They made them look unique, even though they're recycled, turn for turn.
Yeah.
And Mario Kart 8 features this anti-grav thing where you'll go up this ramp and all of a sudden your wheels will turn sideways and you're floating, which is kind of cool. Like, the tracks will go upside down and stuff. Well, they took even the old tracks. They've lifted some of the track off the ground and, put those effects into it. So if they did a good job.
Oh, that's
Okay.
good.
So it feels a little bit fresh, even though it's like a throwback.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Do they have the ability to do this for people to make their own tracks?
No.
You know, like their own maps. You know, like
Oh,
you know,
Nintendo never gives you that kind of
that
power
would
in
be
their games.
awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
You'll put all those neat things in there in your own little track, and then show it to your friends, and you guys play together on a track that you created.
E3 actually, they talked about Nintendo had a game coming out where you can make your own Mario levels.
Ooh,
But
That's
they were classic like side-scrolling looking levels.
right.
Yeah, but they're giving you a development kit that'll be really limited, and it's got all the you have to probably have an end and this, that, and the other, and
Just
it's
get
like
Little Big
just
Planet.
create your own like run through.
You can make an entire game within Little Big Planet, a platform game without any coding or anything, but unlimited possibilities with the tools. They give you.
Wow, really?
Oh man, Little Big Planet is awesome.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Especially if you're an artistic level
emulate that.
creator. Oh yeah. Wow, you don't say that on a gaming podcast,
I know.
man. We're above the people who torrent games.
Ooh,
I don't even use one of those. I don't even have
Shame.
one.
Do you
On
even
you.
PlayStation, bro?
That's
Yeah.
funny.
But no, it's really cool. Little Big Planet's awesome. We talked about that too. Little Big Planet 3 was announced at E3 and gone on about that. Oh, that looks so cool.
It's like some of these things that would be so awesome in PC, and they just don't come out with something like that. Like
No.
Animal Crossing. I mean, come on.
Oh,
Why
someone
doesn't
needs to
anybody
jump on
make?
that.
Somebody has to.
You can
And
you could take Animal Crossing, the concept, and put it into something different, and
I
still
mean-
make it feel like Animal Crossing.
you've heard of Viva Pinata, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they're supposedly comparing that, and I'm thinking, okay, so I checked it out. It's not. I mean, it's nothing like that. You get things of Vizio. It's just Animal Crossing is one of a kind. There's nothing like it. I mean, the AI in it is so amazing. If somebody can come up with a game like that, I'm on it. You know.
It's cool. It's a charming little game. It does get boring though. I promise you. The biggest problem with Animal Crossing is it takes an entire year, a calendar year, to collect all the things you're supposed to collect and do all that, and you have to be constantly playing that whole year. Which is why the app Jemmy actually reviewed on everythingnoob.com. I had to get that because it was so cool. It tells you every month what the new stuff is for that month that you need to go and collect. Which
Yep.
is
Oh wow, that's
incredibly
crazy.
helpful because I always stumble through. I'm like, I wonder if I've caught all the bugs for this month.
pretty much.
And yeah, so I can tell now I'm almost done with all the collectibles, like the bugs and the
What are
fish
you gonna do when you finish the game? Are you gonna reset, or are you just gonna be like, nope, I'm done?
I won't reset. What I'm trying to do is make like a really cool looking town inside my house and just the whole town itself, because there's a lot of town customizations now. And then I'm just gonna, throw out the dream code and call it a day. Like, move on.
I don't
But
think it ever ends, though, does it?
No.
technically no. I mean, there's always different
You
types
collect
of furniture
everything, you
can
get
buy.
that part done. Yeah, you can still
But
continue to play.
Once
after
you
that.
do the core of it, which is filling that museum with all the stuff, there really is hardly anything. Once you unlock all
Yeah.
the things, by the time you fill that museum, you've probably unlocked most of the things you can put in your town anyway. And you can just keep,
It's just what makes it interesting is when they come up to you and talk to you,
yeah.
or when you go to talk to them, they have something crazy to say, or you try to shut the game off without saving it, and they yell at you. You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that. It just cracks me up.
Well,
or
'cause
when you're
obviously
fishing
trying
and
to cheat.
you're about to catch a rare fish, and all of a sudden one of the animals are just on you because they want that fish.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just priceless.
What's cool about it is usually when I'm finally tired of playing, and I've been playing on and off for the next few years, a new version comes out. Which is
Yeah.
kind of why I'm happy I have a Wii U now, because I know they'll release a version for it for the Wii U eventually.
Right.
And by that time, I'll probably be finished with the 3DS version.
I thought that was supposed to be coming in the next year or two.
Really? Did they announce it?
I think so, or at least they've hinted that it's coming.
Oh, crap. I got to get on that.
Yeah, I guess you're gonna have to be going and doing that Google search, the Wii U Animal Crossing. What is it? When is it? Look at you. You're Googling it now. You can't even wait. You are an
I have to
addict.
know. No,
Not that I have room to talk, but
I'm thinking of the other games I'm really excited about. I'm actually kind of disappointed in the set release date for Super Smash Bros. For 3DS because it was supposed to come out, they said, during the summer, and the Super Smash Bros. For Wii U is supposed to come out during the winter. I'm like, cool. I can play this soon. October 3rd is the release date for the 3DS. Is that summer? Isn't that fall? I mean, or is summer still into October? I'm kind of dumb.
Well, in Arizona,
no,
the
fall.
summer lasts until December. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna say depends on where you live, really.
We
In
live on the
South,
surface of the sun.
heat is usually through December, and then it starts getting chilly.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. People who plan on moving from Arizona to a cooler place end up moving to the surface of the sun.
Yeah. The only thing they have for Wii U is Holiday 2014, which is so close to October anyway. Why not just release them at the same damn time? Or I don't know. I'm glad they're coming out on both systems, but I feel like it's going to split the audience of the game, especially for people like me who own both the Wii U and 3DS. What about you? If you were in my position, would you buy both?
No.
Well, let me go to my Rent-A-Center and rent a 3DS XL.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
Don't do that.
No, I would either buy the one I really, really wanted, or I would buy the version where all my friends were at. And honestly, at this point, though, because they have those weird little, like, plastic doll tokens for the Wii version, I'd be like, no, I'm not supporting that. And I'd probably just buy it on 3DS. Because they can't really implement that system on the 3DS. And I hate, like, gimmicky, like, pay more for the game crap like that.
You're not wrong about that. That is very... I'm tired of gimmicky things, I think, just in general. I'm worn out on that. So, I mean, the Disney Infinity thing is a great example where it's already dying off. Like, the popularity of that lasted all of, like, a week.
Well, it's really popular still with the little kids, but the rest of the gaming community is, like, over it.
It's like,
they're
toy companies had to get in on video games somehow, you know?
Well, yeah, but they've been doing that for years, and it's like any game where you just have to constantly keep buying something to keep up with it. And the most notorious example of this is like trading card games.
Yeah,
and
yeah, definitely.
You got to go out and buy the new booster packs or whatever, to keep up because they released a whole new set. Or my favorite is when Magic the Gathering said all the old cards are now obsolete, and this is if you were in tournament play, obviously. Yeah. And then they slowly re-released the cards again.
They changed a stat here and there and said the cards are...
No, most of them were just, like, new artwork. But, like, they locked it out of tournament play for, so they could re-release it again. And make you pay tons of money just to keep buying cards to stay relevant.
Wow.
I remember having a red and green deck, and I had these apes... what were they called? But they were actually banned because they were so powerful, I guess. And and then they brought them back out again and nerfed them a little bit.
Well,
but
see, that's fine.
I had the originals though that were. I mean, could you imagine how much those are worth right now?
Oh
from
my god!
Alpha, Magic the Gathering Alpha from the very first game.
Oh my god!
Wow!
You should find those and sell those.
Absolutely.
That would be so much money right now.
Yeah.
You know what's sad?
Those cards are expensive.
What were they called? Something apes.
I don't know.
Oh, I forgot.
I'm not familiar with the Alpha cards.
Remember Beanie Babies were supposed to be like they were foreseeing that they were going to be
super
rare.
Oh my god!
And all that.
Yeah, I remember
feel
those.
sorry for anybody who really put all their eggs in the Beanie Baby basket.
Well, like when we were kids, we had a ton of them, and today, I've been helping my parents move here and stuff, and we have old storage things, and in plastic bins are a whole bunch of Beanie Babies. That thought occurred to me today. I'm like, these were supposed to be a ton of money.
Oh, they're worthless.
Completely worthless.
Funny.
They recently tried to say they're worth something again. Like, stop it. No, they're not.
No, everyone agrees they are worthless, which means
Even
they
the
are
people
worthless.
who made them were like, these are worthless. Why are you freaking out?
I know, it's like, what the heck?
They tried to release rare ones.
They're
all
pillow
$10
fillers
See,
now.
the rare ones actually, like, maybe in 50 years will be worth something if they're kept in good condition.
Yeah.
But for the most part, unless people agree that they're worth something, guess what? They're worth nothing. And that's the case with most toys, especially if it comes out with the word collector's edition printed on it, means it probably will not be a collector's item until way past you're dead.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's true.
A
Like, if you
gruesome
kept...
ending to our show, by the way.
I'm sorry, it's true though. Like, if you, what you want to find is a toy that didn't take off very well or just like went under the radar, and they barely made any of it. Get that, keep that, and then when you're an adult or like 20 years from now, that will sell because they didn't make any of them.
See, how was I to know that the original Magic the Gathering cards would still be today? You know,
Because
how would I
there
have
was no
known
other
that?
card game at the time that like was
know,
so
but I mean,
expansive.
Well,
there was
we
tons
got to
they were
wrap
coming
up.
out with tons of games. But anyway,
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Everything Noob podcast. Check us out on everythingnoob.com for blogs and more. We have the show notes going up soon. And you can check out all the things we talked about on this show on the show notes for episode 88. Thank you guys so much for listening. Wildfire Radio, thank you guys. And be sure to follow Everything Noob at Everything Noob on Twitter. Check us out on iTunes and Stitcher and wherever else you get your podcast feeds from. And we will see you guys next week for another episode of Everything Noob podcast. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
bye.
Thanks for listening to the Everything Noob podcast. Be sure to visit everythingnoob.com for previous episodes, show notes, host bios, and blogs. And while you're there, feel free to write us with any questions, comments, or suggestions you may have. Don't forget to check out the links to our Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch TV channel as well. On behalf of the noobs, see you next week, and happy gaming.